Hey, what's going on, everybody? Max here with Because Bitcoin, and today we are going to be kicking off Q2 with a bang. We're going to be kicking off Q2 the right way. Before we get into this, I understand this is a highly anticipated video. I've been teasing it on X, and I'm being sincere. Like, what I'm about to share, in my opinion, is probably some of the most granular, in the weeds type of technical and maybe partially fundamental analysis that I've ever shared. I also feel like it warrants a bit of a disclaimer at the beginning. First of all, this is a long video. All right, it's going to be long. I would highly encourage everybody, as eager as you may be, to try to sit through the full thing, because I want you to understand my thought process. I want you to understand how I get from A to B all the way till the very end, and it will hopefully paint a very thorough and comprehensive picture. Additionally, we're going to start at the very beginning, step one, because I need you guys to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. Not just what I'm doing, but the reasoning behind it. We're going to start bigger, with majors, and we're going to work our way down to probably what most would consider to be micro caps. I feel like there's a very unique window of time right now where myself and Because Bitcoin, we're starting to catch on and we're growing very quickly, but I still feel as though we have the luxury of talking about some of these, riskier plays, because we are still a relatively small company. This may be the first and last time that we talk about such small cap coins on this channel. One more disclaimer, and then we're going to get into it. We have never, and we will never, accept any sort of, pre-sale allocation type of deals. Okay. Everything that we talk about here on this channel and also on X, these are projects that we have real money in, our own money in. I get offered every single day 1% of the supply of some, brand new crappy ticker, right? I don't respond to any of them. We started this business, a couple years ago with sort of the underpinning of it all to do things differently and to not fall into those same traps and, you know, BS that a lot of other, crypto marketers do, because we're not crypto marketers. We're Me and my entire team, we're all traders and investors ourselves, and we're really just documenting what we're doing in these markets. But I recognize that as we grow, things do change a little bit, some for the better, some for the worse. So, the only leg up that I have on any of you potentially watching, and not even all of you, some of you got into this stuff before me, is that I'm talking about my plays publicly. I got in cheaper than you, most likely, but I'm not selling anytime soon. I'm holding, so you don't have to worry about that. But anyways, I just wanted to talk through this because I understand, we're talking about really risky stuff here. This is that part of crypto that is really difficult to understand for a lot of people, and it's also the riskiest. So I give you my word, if you stick through and you watch the whole thing, and you don't just, run into the descriptions to look for the contract addresses and just ape blindly, one, you will learn something, and two, you will feel more comfortable in the trades yourself if you understand the reasoning behind all of it. And by the way, guys, it's early here. I need to have some coffee. I had some feedback, people saying,
Don't drink during the video, it's annoying.
I'm sorry. I It's early here. Like I said, I got to drink some coffee, but let's get to it. We're starting at step number 1 here. Okay, this is first base. All right. So where are we potentially at in this cycle, right? Because the only way you can feel comfortable holding risk, holding meme coins, holding altcoins is, of course, if Bitcoin remains strong. Why would you hold anything if Bitcoin is weak, right? If you have to understand, if Bitcoin goes down, in a bear market, 50%, Ethereum's going to go down 65, Sol's going to go down 75, total 3 in your altcoin basket's going to go down even more, right? It only makes sense to hold altcoins and meme coins and any sort of risk beyond Bitcoin when you're in a bull market. So let's talk about where we potentially are here, and then we're gonna continue to move down the risk curve. Okay. So here's Bitcoin here. I'm actually gonna just blow this up a little bit so you guys can see it better. Okay. This is Bitcoin on the 2-week chart. Now, I have purple dots marked right here. What do these mean? Purple dots is when Bitcoin has gone through a bear market and curled all the way back up and gone on to basically exceed the previous cycle all-time high. Got it marked out here with horizontal lines. And also you can see these purple dots. So again, marked right here. In 2017, Bitcoin went on to do, 1,580%. And then we have the cycle top marked with a blue dot right up here. Okay. Now we mark up the next cycle top, same exact thing. Purple dot is when we made a new all-time high. We go on to, go up 250% from the previous cycle all-time high. This was kind of weird, right? Little double top, unique, predatory. But anyways, where are we at right now? So we have printed a new purple dot, right? Same as the previous two cycles. Bitcoin goes through a bear market, gets back up, sweeps the previous all-time high, and here we are. All right. So now that you see potentially where we're at, we're going to add back on these other charts. Now, what happens to Bitcoin dominance, right? For those that don't know what Bitcoin dominance is Bitcoin represented as a percentage of the total crypto asset class, okay? So right now it's at 54% roughly. That means that Bitcoin makes up just over half of all of crypto, okay? Now, I've done this, beforehand. So I marked out these same purple dots. The time is the exact same. All right. So purple dot here is right when Bitcoin USD makes an all-time high. What typically happens, in the very near future after Bitcoin USD makes new all-time high? Bitcoin dominance goes straight down. Now we only have 2 data points. This time could be different. We have to be, flexible and be willing to accept the data as it comes. All right. But we have to use what's available in front of us. And here's what we have. All right. So typically when we print a purple dot, Bitcoin USD makes a new all-time high. Bitcoin dominance drops for, months and months. Now, if at that same time you are seeing Bitcoin USD moving up like this, and Bitcoin dominance is dropping, that means that altcoins are exploding. All right. That means that altcoins are just kicking ass. All right. And altcoins are, the better hold than Bitcoin. Same thing happened last cycle, right? We printed a purple dot right here. We had one little deviation up, which is maybe what we're headed towards right now. Time will tell. But then we went on to a multi-month capitulation, and Bitcoin's global top was only in once Bitcoin dominance put in a multi-month capitulatory bottom. So the point of me showing all of this right now is people are worried about the end of the cycle being near. And to them, I say, we just printed a purple dot. We haven't even seen a pullback in Bitcoin dominance. As a matter of fact, we have been going straight up in a straight line, really since November of 2022. So, I mean, it's been almost 500 days. Bitcoin dominance hasn't even pulled back, which if we were to global top here, that would be the first time we've ever seen Bitcoin dominance basically just go up all bull market, and alts never really caught that big rotation. So this time would be different. I'm not willing to bet on that. I think that this time is more or less going to be the same. I think we are eventually going to see a Bitcoin dominance capitulation. So what does that mean? Why are we talking about all of this? Okay. Well, again, we just identified that typically we see alt season. All right. Now this is others. Others is all of crypto minus the top 10 names by market cap. So minus Bitcoin, minus ETH, minus, even stable coins, minus Sol, BNB, the majors, right? So this is all of crypto minus your top 10. This is your true altcoin index. All right. Purple dots marked here is again when Bitcoin USD makes a new all-time high. What do we typically see? Bitcoin dominance goes straight down. Bitcoin in 2017 went up 1,580%. Others, so altcoins as an average, as an index, went up 23,000%. Okay. Now, last cycle, 2020, Bitcoin went up 250. Altcoins went up over 1,000%. And I'm kind of rounding here, right? But it's actually a little bit more. So where are we at right now? We just printed a purple dot. What do we expect next? Time will tell, right? Time will tell. But we're certainly not here to talk about an imminent bear market. I'll tell you that much. All right. So what typically happens? Now we're going to get into the stuff that you guys came here for. We're already 10 minutes in. Again, I hope you're not skipping through this because I need to set the stage. You need to understand this stuff is not random. This is not, dropping random tickers and we have some following. This is all very, very, it's this web of interconnectivity. All right. So now we're going to get into the altcoins and the meme coins specifically, but you needed to see this information first to set the stage as to where the market is most likely at from a cycle perspective. All right. So what does this mean? We print purple dots. Historically, altcoins have done very well, right as we're around this place in the cycle. Let's take a look at Doge. All right. And by the way, I initially made this chart back when we were down here at 8 cents. Okay. There's videos on it. I got videos on the channel. You can go back and take a look at it. I tweeted about this. I literally begged people right here at 8 cents. I said, Doge, please, please do not sleep on Doge. I was begging people. I'm like, I want to see you make it. I'm trying to get the word out here. My following's growing quickly. I don't know if anybody saw it, but for those that were early on Because Bitcoin, you guys got the plays down in here. And I'll tell you this about the Doge community. If there is one community out there that would absolutely ape into the Doge ecosystem when it's a little bit easier to do, a little bit more accessible, it is the Doge community. Again, because we are bullish Bitcoin and altcoins right here. Now we move over to Doge. All right. Doge is older than Ethereum. It's proof of work, largely decentralized, and in year 10 of its existence, now has new chain functionality. We have Doginals, DRC20s, the whole thing. It's a whole ecosystem, right? What do we typically see here? Let's throw on Bitcoin onto the bottom. All right, get these off here. All right, we'll put Bitcoin here in candles, and we'll make them orange so you guys can identify it. Here's Bitcoin down at the bottom, guys, and here's Doge up top. First thing you'll notice about Doge is this number right here, and I can make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. Oops, let's see here. Let's make those bigger. We'll make it size 20. So the number to remember here is 1,218 days. Okay. In cycle 1, from Doge's first peak to when it put in its next global top, the timing was exactly 1,218 days. Cycle 2, from its next all-time high, or cycle top, to ultimately the current all-time high and cycle top that was set in May of 21. From this high to the last high was 1,218 days, exactly the same amount of time as cycle 1. So I'm prospecting out that perhaps, again, we see the exact same thing. That would take us out into September. Time will tell, right? But what I was more focused on here than, well, I mean, this is incredible, right? Like, what a coincidence. Is Bitcoin's all-time high. What does Doge do when Bitcoin goes on to make a new all-time high? What does it do? This is a little hard to see. I'll make this thicker. I'll make it a little easier to see. So we're going to mark out Bitcoin's previous cycle all-time highs. Again, the purple dots, right? The purple dots that we just talked about. All right. And I'll even go as far to put the purple dots on here for you guys, just because we're familiar with them, right? So what typically happens to Doge, the king of altcoins, older than ETH, older than basically everything, when Bitcoin goes on to print a purple dot? Well, here we go. We'll mark out our purple dots right here on the chart as well. Here we go. Look what happens every single time. Doge goes crazy. It ranges, it accumulates, it does nothing for hundreds of days. Bitcoin goes into price discovery after a bear market. Doge goes crazy. What's happening right now? Doge is starting to go crazy. Okay. So we're bullish Bitcoin above the all-time high. We also have the halving in, less than 3 weeks. We're bullish Bitcoin above the all-time high. Therefore, we are bullish Doge. Look at this chart. Okay. Since we're bullish Bitcoin above the all-time high, we have to be bullish Doge. Now, because we are bullish Doge, we need to go further down the risk curve, okay? The first public Pepe analysis that I shared was down in this region. It was basically down here. I posted numerous videos, basically showing that this is, some giant range here, and Pepe is going to be a contender to be the best performing meme of this cycle. And it's been aging quite well. And I'm sure that's how a lot of you probably found me, is because you saw my charts from when we were down here, and then you saw me, subtly bragging about how I was right up here. Um, but I mean, it's gone very well so far, but I think we have a long way to go. So what was most intriguing about Pepe for me was, one, yes, the meme ability of it. It's a fantastic meme. The community is solid. We were playing it when it was before you can even chart it on TradingView, way over here. Um, but it wasn't the Pepe USD chart. I liked this, right? I mean, for a lot of reasons, you could say, oh, this is, inverse head and shoulders. Oh, it's a giant, range with a breakout. But that wasn't it for me. That wasn't it for me. It was other things. And again, we're going to go down the whole chain here, and I'm going to explain to you guys exactly why. Okay. So what was most exciting about this pair for me is Pepe USD was great, but what I was most excited about was Pepe Doge. So let's take a look at it. I recognized that this area right here was basically acting as like a monster demand zone. All right. And by the way, I have tweets of this when we were right here. I said, this is unbelievable. You are sleeping on this. You love Doge, but you're not considering how Doge is the Bitcoin of the meme economy. It's like we chart Ethereum against Bitcoin, we chart Sol against Bitcoin, we chart every altcoin against Bitcoin to gauge whether it's worth holding. Why would you hold an altcoin if it's not going to outperform Bitcoin? Bitcoin is safer. The same can be said about meme coins. Why would you hold an altcoin or a meme coin if it's bleeding against Doge? Because Doge is safer for all the reasons I mentioned earlier: proof of work, age, the whole thing. All right. But what I was looking at was this here. All right. And I thought this was pretty incredible, actually. And I'm on like let's go down to the daily, right? So we could put it from right here. We saw this playing out right here. I said, guys, we're super bullish Doge, and I like Pepe as a meme a lot. This is basically a bullish wedge that is falling into high time frame demand, while Bitcoin is moving up towards making a new all-time high. I said, if you're bullish Doge here, which again, we already went over why you should be bullish Doge here, you got to look at this pair, because if we think that Doge is going to go from 8 cents to a dollar, that's a 12 or 13x potentially. And if this pair breaks out, Pepe Doge, and just a quick reminder for those that don't know what this pair means, when it's going down like this, that means that Doge is a better hold than Pepe. When it's going up like this, that means that Pepe is outperforming Doge. All right, we're just pairing memes against each other to see how they are interacting with one another, which one's better to hold at what time, when, why, whatever. Okay, so I said Doge is about to pop here, but guess what? If this pair breaks up right here and Doge goes up 10x, and this pair, Pepe Doge, goes up 10x, then you're looking at Pepe going up 100x. Okay. So we saw this down here. We took a huge position in Pepe. It's been going well. We obviously have gone on to, sweep the previous all-time high, and we have now pulled back. What I'm kind of expecting here is, more or less like, maybe worst case, you see this mid-range get hit. But I think the pullback for Pepe Doge is more or less done. And if you look at it in log mode, which is how you should be viewing it, I could maybe see another, something like this. We'll maybe move up, take out that low, hold, double bottom, and then that's when you start your next leg up. Okay, so again, if you're bullish Doge here, you have to recognize the signs of a very bullish pair. So again, we're bullish Bitcoin above the all-time high. And yeah, I could see these wicks holding too, like something like this. This is your region to hold. Since we're bullish Bitcoin above the all-time high, then we must be bullish Doge. If we're bullish Doge and the pair looks like this, then we're bullish Pepe. Okay, this is Pepe paired against Doge. All right. Now we're going to move over to BOBO. All right. If we're bullish Bitcoin and then we're bullish Doge and then we're bullish Pepe, now we're going to look at BOBO. All All right. Now we're going to look at BOBO. What did I notice here about BOBO? This is BOBO Pepe. All right. So now we're pairing another meme coin against Pepe to determine, do we want to hold another meme coin? How is it interacting? Right. So we found this other meme coin. Shout out to David and AJ. They showed me this one. I was presented with BOBO, and people said to me, do you like, and here I'll pull up BOBO USD. It was right here. I was presented with BOBO right here at 0.00005 or whatever. Do you like BOBO? And I said, the chart looks good. Like the USD chart looks good here. That's fine. But what I really care about is it worth holding? Because I recognize if I'm bullish Bitcoin, then I'm bullish Doge. If I'm bullish Doge, if I'm bullish Doge, then I'm bullish Pepe. If I'm bullish Pepe, I'm only going to hold another meme if it looks good and can outperform against Pepe. So I charted BOBO against Pepe. And what did I find? At the time when we found it, we were like right around here. We were something like right around here. All right. And I said, this is incredible, right? We have this pair that is, look at this. Like, look at the holds here, here, again, falling wedge. Like you could mark out like we're compressing, against this trend line. And look at the bottom trend line as well, holding strong. This is actually pair trading against Pepe. What are the odds that, a micro cap called BOBO can be charted against Pepe, which can be charted against Doge, which is charted against Bitcoin, right? Like it's all connected. It's this whole web and they're all trading against each other, right? So we recognize, all right, this is sort of your demand region. Like this was your accumulation right here. All of this was accumulation, demand. We're coming back, we're holding it. And now look at us, we're curling up. So it makes sense to hold BOBO because it's basically leverage Pepe. And a quick reminder for those that need it, the chart moves up like this. That means that BOBO is outperforming Pepe. If it moves down, Pepe's a better hold than BOBO. But look at this. It's trying to break out against Pepe. Okay. So now we get further down into it, guys. Everybody knows who, Matt Fury is, right? And he's the creator of the Pepe meme. Pepe has friends, guys. One of them is BOBO. And we're going to talk about some other ones now. All right. So there's a comic series, and you guys can look it up. It's called The Boys Club. And Pepe is kind of like the main character here, and he's got his little posse. All right. Now we're going to talk about Dodo first, because this is one that I already tweeted out. So you guys know this. I only talk about a chart if I think that it looks good. Like I don't talk about anything that I can't chart and has price history on. So here's Dodo, right? I was watching Dodo here and I recognized, okay, yeah, this is a Pepe derivative. All right, and it hasn't pumped yet. So we identified our swing high here. We identified our swing low here. Again, range high being respected. And look at how much interaction there is here at this mid-range. Look at this. So I said, all right, we're respecting levels here. This is a micro cap. At the time, this was like maybe 3 million. We dripped down here below the mid-range into, maybe I think it was like a couple million. I said, all right, this is a very clear level. If we can reclaim, this is a deviation and we can reclaim this mid-range, we're going to pump out of this. People are watching this. There's this whole meme economy. So I started buying here. I told our Discord about it. But what I was really more interested in here, and by the way, it's performing extremely well, right? Like we got in here at 20 cents. It's at $1.50, and I'm holding it, and I'm going to continue to hold it. And the reason I'm going to continue to hold it, and I have conviction to hold it, is not because the USD chart looks good, which it does. It's because of this chart. Dodo against Pepe. So we recognize, all right, previous all-time high. We're going to mark it out. Additionally, what was happening while we were bleeding here? How is it that a microcap that's sub 5 million is trading against a trend line paired against Pepe? How is that? Is it a conspiracy? Why is it possible? How is it possible, right? That you can play a trend line like this. This isn't a USD pair. This is Dodo paired against Pepe now. Because why would we hold anything? If Pepe's our flagship meme of this cycle, why would we hold anything that is bleeding against Pepe? It's safer to just hold Pepe. And then I'll repeat the same line. Why would we hold Pepe if it bleeds against Doge, right? Doge is safer. If your risk is not outperforming, the alpha, the secure play within your niche, your genre that you're focusing on, just hold the safe one, right? Why hold an altcoin if it's not going to outperform Bitcoin? Bitcoin's safer. So how is it that a trend line like this plays? Again, quick reminder, if this chart is bleeding, that means that Pepe is a better hold than Dodo. If we're going like this, that means that Dodo is kicking Pepe's butt. Okay. So I recognize that, yes, the USD pair looked good, right? We had a clear mid-range here. It was holding, deviation, reclaim. It looks good. But why do I feel so convicted in this micro cap play where I can be up the amount that I'm up and not want to sell? Well, it's because this breakout just started. We are now in price discovery against Pepe. After, how long were we accumulating here? Let's take a measured move, right? So we'll just start it from this high. We spent a solid 2 weeks coiling, reaccumulating to start a breakout against Pepe as we're entering Q2, as Bitcoin just printed a purple dot again right here. And we may be on the verge of alt season again, being Bitcoin dominance dropping, purple dot here on the others chart. Pepe, in my opinion, looks ready to go for another move up. Probably even heads towards 50 billion market cap or more this cycle, depending how crazy things get. We're in price discovery right now against our Pepe pair here. That's all I care about is I'm watching this pair. I may hold Dodo USD, but all I want to see is that we're at least tracking Pepe and outperforming Pepe. You have to think of this as a 50 times leveraged Pepe is what these derivatives are. They fit into the Matt Fury Boys Club, comic, and this whole meme economy, this meme class. And Pepe has been the king, but now suddenly we're seeing Pepe derivatives not only trading well against, from a technical perspective, their USD pairs, but breaking out and respecting technicals against Pepe. It's unbelievable. Honestly, it is unbelievable that you can actually chart this stuff and it works. It's all connected. So a couple that I haven't talked about yet, but I'm going to start talking about here soon. Here's Mumu, another friend of Pepe. So we recognize again, this is trading very, very cleanly. Very cleanly. Look at, so here's our swing low. I don't have it dragged over. There it is, mid-range, holding nicely. We flip it. It's now support. Pretty unbelievable. Literally unreal. Again, we had a range high breakout. We're in price discovery, and then we have a deviation / bear trap, and now we're off to the races. Okay, so Mumu, another microcap friend of Pepe's, is actually trading cleanly in this range, and it's actually initiating bear traps and predatory moves to shake people out. But what do we really care about here, guys? Do we care about Mumu USD? A little bit. Look at this chart against Pepe. Now this is Mumu Pepe. Why did I feel so much conviction to play Mumu here? We'll redo it live. So we're watching here. We're watching closely. And look at this. We identify a demand region right here where we continually bounce off of. I'll label this demand. And again, a quick reminder for everybody. This right here is Mumu, Pepe's friend, paired against Pepe. So again, the chart moves down, Pepe's a better hold. The chart moves up, Mumu's a better hold. All right. Now, additionally, from this high, draw something like this, connect it across, identify the two highs and what we're doing right now. Additionally, rounded bottom. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. This is, this is a 10 million market cap, micro cap, friend of Pepe, and it's trading and breaking out against its Pepe pair after holding demand. I mean, this chart goes back. This chart goes back from this high, right? This was back in July. We've been reaccumulating. Mumu's been reaccumulating against Pepe for 3/4 of a year, 268 days. I mean, look at these holds of demand right here. Look at this. This isn't random, guys. Like this isn't random. This isn't just like specking altcoins because I like the memes. Is it a coincidence and a conspiracy that you can chart a micro cap that at the time down here was, a couple $1 million against a $1 billion asset like Pepe, and it's working and it's holding demand consistently? Is it a conspiracy? Is it a simulation? What is it? I don't really care what it is because it's working. As crazy as it may seem, it is working and it's clear as day right here. So we're bullish Bitcoin above the all-time high. Therefore, we're bullish Doge because we know what historically happens. And then we're bullish Pepe because the Pepe Doge pair looks good. And if we're bullish Pepe because we're bullish Doge because we're bullish Bitcoin, and then the BOBO Pepe pair looks good and is breaking out, then we're bullish BOBO. But really, we only care how things trade against Pepe because Pepe is our security, right? Pepe is our safe, but a little bit riskier than Doge, meme coin king, hopefully, of this cycle. And we've got this whole playbook of Pepe derivatives that haven't caught the attention that they deserve yet. But clearly, there is big money watching this. Otherwise, this wouldn't happen. Smart money is watching this. All right, we talked about Dodo. We talked about Mumu. Another one here is Bett. This one's actually on base. This is the only one on base that I'm talking about. Again, Bett looks fantastic. I own Bett. USD chart looks really, really good. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on Bett, but maybe something like this. Again, Bett USD looks pretty good here. I would expect it to move up. But what do we really care about? We care about Bett Pepe. You pair Bett, another friend of Pepe. We pair Bett against Pepe. Again, so the chart moves up. That means that Bett is a better hold than Pepe. The chart moves down. Pepe is a better hold than Bett. What are we doing right here? How can we chart these lines, guys? How do these lines continue to work, right? Is it a conspiracy? Is it a conspiracy, guys? Like, I just, it's unbelievable that, even going back here when Bett was, much smaller, right? How are these highs and these lows playing like this? How can you chart Pepe's friends against Pepe and it continues to work? Not once, twice, 5, 6, 7. It just continues to work. That's because this is the secret, guys. There's this whole web of interconnectivity of Pepe and Pepe derivatives. And you can chart all of it. And there is smart money watching it. What would I expect here? Maybe we bleed down, touched again. And then ultimately, I expect this to break to the upside. Now, what's the new play here, guys? We got a new one here. Andy, another friend of Pepe. This one is very much so a micro cap. I believe it's maybe like 6 or 7 million right now. It's the smallest of all the ones that we've talked about. We like how the USD chart looks. We'll throw a range on here. That's fine. What are the odds, right? Look at how this mid-range is playing, right? So swing high to swing low. Look at all the interaction with the mid-range, guys. What are the odds that you can chart something like this? This was sub $1 million market cap down here. What are the odds that you can chart something like this, right? It's because it's another friend of Pepe. It's part of this whole ecosystem. There are people watching and accumulating. Here we go. Now this is Andy charted against Pepe. Look at this trend line, guys. How does this play? How does this play? You can maybe, move it like this a little bit, get one more tap in here. How is this playing, guys? At the time we're watching a sub-million market cap derivative of Pepe, a friend of Pepe, respect this trend line and start to break out. This is all that we care about. Again, a quick reminder. It's bleeding down. Pepe's a better hold than Andy. It's moving up. It's the opposite. Andy's outperforming Pepe. Now, we're going to jump over to another screen here. So we're actually going to start charting here on Deck Screener, okay? So we are going to pull up Andy. Here's the chart, guys. This is the Andy that I'm focused on, okay? And in my opinion, this is the correct one. There's a lot of different Pepes out there. There's Pepe on Sol. There's, Mumu on Sol. There's all these different ones, right? This is the one. The reason why is because of the contract, all right? The reason why is because of the contract. So let's do this. Pepe, we don't even need USD. Let's look up Pepe now. All right. Just go to this one. Look at the contract here, guys. It is 0x69. That's how Pepe starts. All right. Now we're going to go back here and look up Andy. Contract is 0x68. Keep your friends close, guys. All the OGs buy ETH or buy Pepe on ETH. They're going to buy Andy on ETH, and the contract is right there, 0x68, next to Pepe, 0x69. Pretty incredible, right? It's all right there, right in front of us. Right in front of us. Now I'm going to pop back over to TradingView. We got one more to talk about as well. We have the crab, Snibbu or Snibbu. I actually don't even know how to pronounce it. It's okay. It doesn't really matter. Again, another friend, another derivative of Pepe. What do we notice here? Let's mark out the previous high. Respecting the levels, months and months of accumulation. Nice, similar to Mumu, similar bear trap right here. And then blast off, right? And then blast off. But do we really care about Snibbu, or do we just care that Snibbu is outperforming Pepe? Chart looks even better here, guys. What are the odds that from the original all-time high set here that we reject again perfectly right here on this candle here in March? And now we are cooking going into price discovery, kind of ignoring this little wick here, right? We never even had a close. But what are the odds, right? How can we chart another Pepe derivative and Pepe friend against Pepe? Again, a quick reminder, if it's bleeding down like this, Pepe's a better hold. If it's moving up, it's the opposite. It's performing better than Pepe. Why do we want to hold it? It's because it's part of the Pepe ecosystem. It's part of the meme economy. It's part of the Pepeverse. And you can actually chart it against Pepe. It's pretty unbelievable. Now, we're going to go back to Deck Screener and just take a look at these again. Okay. Here's Andy, guys. This is now 8 million. It's up quite a bit. Recently, people are starting to catch on. But I would say, you have to be careful with all this stuff, but I wouldn't be overly discouraged like you missed it because, if we look at something like Bett, for example, let's actually, here we'll go USD and we'll put on market cap here. So you can see that on this axis here, we've got the market cap. So right now it's just under 8 mil market cap. Let's take a look at something like Bett, which again is one of Pepe's friends and has been, outperforming Pepe and really everything recently. It's been one of the first movers in this Pepe economy or the Pepeverse. Let's take a look at where Bett was at when it was at $7.8 million market cap. All right. Here's Bett. I'll put it in log. It's right here, guys. This is where Brett was at when it was at an 8 mil market cap. If we don't put it in log mode, it was right down there. So, looking at where we're at right now, obviously from this point, and who knows, maybe Brett will be the best performer. Maybe the other ones will catch up. This is where Andy's chart is right now. If it went up to now where Brett is now, that's, 7,000% to the high, even more, right? Almost 10,000%, and it'll probably keep going up. So I'm just saying, this is how young something like Andy is, where you are at, you are at 8 mil right here, and that's where 8 mil was on Brett. Okay. And just to be clear again, this chart that we're talking about here, it's the ETH one. It's Andy on ETH, and it starts with 0x68. All right. And Brett is the only one that's not on ETH. Brett on base is the clear winner. And that's the only exception. Everything else is on ETH. Here's Dodo. We talked about this one as well. Again, we're just going to look at it on Deck Screener. This is Dodo on ETH. Starts in 0x74. Look at how this is trading and respecting these levels. This is a $13 million market cap friend of Pepe. Look at where we're rejecting right here. Right here at the 1.618. This isn't random. Like, it trades cleanly, and you can chart this stuff, right? So what are we looking for right here? At this point, we'd be looking for Dodo to maybe, continue to reaccumulate and then eventually flip the 1.618, and I'll see you at the 2.618. And then ultimately, I'd like to see it up here at the 3.618 at a minimum, potentially even higher. Then we cool off and we draw new fibs. So, again, we'll keep moving here. Here's Mumu, right? We already talked about this one. This contract ends in 0x or starts in 0x2f. 13 million market cap, friend of Pepe. Look at how we can chart this. Range high, range low, deviations, mid-range playing, bear trap initiated, blast off, rejecting just under the 1.618. Eventually, in my opinion, that will flip, and we will see the 2.618. The crab, Snibbu, look at this. We talked about it on TradingView. Look at how many rejections we had. Range high, I don't know why that's changed the color. Range high, range low, deviation. We break out. 1.618 rejects us 3 different times. Now we break through. See you at the 2.618. You can trade this stuff. And the most important thing about all of it, and we already did this on TradingView, is it's charting and trading well against Pepe. It's unbelievable, guys. It's literally unbelievable. So again, we are really deep into the meme economy here, right? Like, I'm trying to sort of unveil the curtain behind all of this stuff. There is this whole, meme economy, this Pepe-verse, that's all circled around Pepe doing well. And then, of course, Pepe doing well is dependent on Doge doing well, and Doge doing well is dependent on Bitcoin continuing to do well. So let's put it this way. If Bitcoin doesn't perform well here in the near future, then all of this doesn't matter. Because if Doge doesn't perform well, because Bitcoin doesn't perform well, then Pepe's not going to perform well. And if Pepe doesn't perform well, then all of the Pepe derivatives, they may pump in the short term, but they're not going to do well. They need Pepe to do well. Pepe is the underpinning of all of this. And I feel as though I've sort of unearthed from a technical perspective, the sort of secret web. To be clear, I'm not the first one to find these tickers. There's guys I know on Twitter that bought this stuff earlier than me. They caught on to this earlier than me. But the way that my mind works is I need to be able to rationalize and justify my decisions based off of data, not just understanding the culture. And maybe that's a shortcoming of mine. But now, as I've watched this all develop, I'm seeing it very clearly. And I'm also seeing that Pepe is worth, $3.5 billion. And you have Pepe derivatives that are worth 9 million. And here's another one, 12.7 million. And here's another one, 13.5 million. Bett is much bigger, right? 600 million. Andy, 4.4 million, right? So you're seeing all of these derivatives. How do you value them, right? Like how do we value, how do we value Bobo? And then how do we value, Mumu and Snibbu and Dodo and Bett and Andy, all of these derivatives, how do we value them against Pepe? Well, I think that, for Pepe to reach 50 billion, Doge probably has to reach 100 billion plus, maybe even 150. And I think for Pepe to go to 50 billion would imply maybe Bobo goes to 20. And then I think from there, you can look at all these other ones and say, it's kind of a crapshoot which one's going to perform the best, right? You've got Snibbu, you've got Mumu, you've got Dodo, Bett, you've got Andy. At this point, you look at these and you go, okay, well, if we're expecting Pepe to be worth 50 billion potentially, and Bobo's going to be worth maybe 10 to 20 billion, could these be worth, 1/10 of Bobo? Could all of these be worth $1 billion if the Pepeverse actually materializes? I think there's a fighting chance, but you have to view these as almost like, like Pepe options, right? Like if Pepe goes up 10%, these are going to go up 500%. These are like zero DTEs of Pepe, except obviously they don't expire and they don't have contango, or decay. But understand that buying all of these is basically like buying, really kind of like long dated risky calls for Pepe. But what's incredible is you can chart them all against Pepe and they work perfectly. And again, we'll go here, right? How can we just looked at Mumu. It's, 13 billion, or I'm sorry, 13 million market cap. What how is this possible? This is Mumu paired against Pepe. How can I not buy this chart when we're trying to break out of a multi-month reaccumulation holding high time frame demand? Is it a coincidence? And it's the same for all of them that I just talked about. So anyways, for bullish Bitcoin above the all-time high, then we're bullish altcoins. Since we're bullish Bitcoin above the all-time high, we're bullish Doge because Bitcoin is above the previous cycle all-time high. Or at least hopefully it's a couple hundred points below right now. Since we're bullish Doge, as Bitcoin is in price discovery, because we know what historically happens, and the Pepe Doge pair looks good, then we're bullish Pepe. And since we're bullish Pepe, and this is the Bobo Pepe chart, then we're bullish Bobo. And since we're bullish Bobo and Pepe, and we can chart Pepe's other friends in the Pepeverse, all these microcap derivatives of Pepe against Pepe, and they print charts like this. And they print charts like this. Then we are bullish all of the Pepeverse. And I have a gut feeling that a lot of these other small caps, these micro caps here that we talked about today, Mumu, Snibbu, Dodo, Bett, and Andy, are all going to catch their big rotations. They're already starting. But I'll tell you this right now. If Pepe goes up another 10x or 20x or 30x, wherever it ends up going, we let the charts tell us. It's pretty clear that these derivatives are about to start cooking as well. And they can offer very high, very, very high risk, but very, very high reward. Your sizing needs to be appropriate on them. Understand that they're going to be 100 times more volatile than Pepe. 100 times, if not even more. But this may be sort of the discovery here of sort of like the secret the secret underpinning of this whole Pepe meme trade, the meme craze that we're seeing right now. And I can rationalize it with charts. It's all data dependent, right? Like if it stops working, for example, if I see, even going to BOBO, right? Like if I see this pair here, BOBO Pepe, for example, break down like this, and we start to go down, then why would I hold BOBO? I can just hold Pepe, right? We only invest because of the chart. We let the data tell us if we're bullish or we're bearish. And right now, it's telling me that we are super bullish and we are looking at microcap derivatives that are largely undiscovered. That's the video. I'm going to be posting some charts on these as well on Twitter. But for those of you that stuck around and you saw the whole thing, I'd love to know what you guys think about it. I hope that you guys, I know it's almost an hour-long video, but I hope you can understand why I put so much emphasis on wanting to explain it, because it's not just me with a platform talking about, meme coins and microcaps. The intricacy of this pair trade is even deeper than I had initially thought. And if this works, it will be historic. This will be crypto's version of like the GME trade. They will make movies about the Pepeverse if this all happens, if all of these Pepe derivatives begin to play, and Pepe goes on to, compete as a top meme coin, and it drags all of its friends in the Pepeverse with it. The most incredible part is that it's not random. You can chart all of them. You can chart, a $5 million microcap derivative of Pepe against Pepe, and it pair trades. There's real data behind this, and there's big money watching this. And now I'm sharing it here with you guys. It's almost hard to believe, right? Like your knee-jerk reaction is there's no way that you can chart a microcap against a multi-billion-dollar asset and it works. But here it is. I'm not here to argue it. You can be mad that it works. You could, be skeptical. That's fine. You should be skeptical, right? Be skeptical of everything. Ask questions. But I'm going to continue to make, big, high conviction, sizable bets into these, as long as the charts dictate that is the appropriate move. And as of right now, as we just printed a purple dot on Bitcoin, and halving is in less than 3 weeks, and Pepe is probably due for its next leg up here soon. I think it's potentially a once in a lifetime setup on all this stuff, And I also have the luxury right now of talking about all of this stuff before my channel gets too big, and my following gets too big, where it just kind of becomes mainstream. So anyways, this is the thesis, guys. If you check the description of the video below, and we timestamped everything, I'll have all the contract addresses if you want to, take a look at them. But the video's here as a resource, the video's here as a resource. And, just to be clear, like I'm already in all this stuff with my own money. I gave all these plays to our Discord, over the past week, so they know about it. A lot of them are in these plays. And yeah, guys, just be smart, be safe. And, I hope that you understand what you're looking for here and you're not just blindly aping, because if you understand the play, then you will feel more comfortable in the play and you will learn something. You need to develop your own convictions about this stuff. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Great video. I hope that all this stuff made sense. Honestly, I tried to go as quick as I could, but I had to provide that context, why we're bullish this, because we're bullish this, because we're bullish this. It's a much more intricate web than I had initially thought, but here we are, and we have to adjust to new data as it comes about. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for being here. Please like and subscribe. Help us get to 10K on YouTube. Additionally, if you want access to me 24/7 and the rest of the Because Bitcoin team, plus you want to get these plays before we post them publicly on YouTube or on X, consider checking out the first link in the description below, which you can sign up for our premium Discord. It is expensive, but it does pay for itself in no time. Obviously, that's why it's growing and it's been around for a while. So check that out, guys. You will also get access to the BB terminal in about 45 days, which is basically a Bloomberg terminal, but for crypto. It's our new flagship product. You can have portfolio tracking, derivatives data, high time frame indicators, Agger, on-chain stuff. It's literally everything all together in one super website, and you will get free access included in your Discord membership as a tool and a resource. So sign up sooner rather than later. It's absolutely probably the best value in crypto, and we are constantly working to improve it. So it's a really great tight-knit community. And again, you will get access to all of my plays, charts, and analysis as well as the rest of the Because Bitcoin team if you sign up and you are in our Discord. So it's worth the money. But guys, thanks so much for being here. I know it was a long video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think below. Again, please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Take care.